Blank check with Griffin and David. Blank check with Griffin and David. Don't know what to say or to expect. All you need to know is that the name of the show is Blank Check.
Maybe there are different ways to be brave. Did you know the French have the best carrier pigeons? And this could be the difference in the war. Our message is getting through. They are released at the front and told to go home. This is all they know. But to get there, they must fly over war. Can you imagine such a thing? Here you are flying over so much pain and terror, and you know that you can never look down. You have to look forward, or you'll never get home. I ask you, what could be more podcast than that?
What's the word?
Braver. Hi, everybody. This is Griffin Newman with 25% voice.
Mm-hmm. This is David Sims.
With 100% voice.
Always.
A buttery baritone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I got an oily throat right now because I just ate a Five Guys burger.
David has been chugging olive oil since entering the studio.
Yeah.
This is a podcast called Blank Check.
Oh my God, your voice is terrible. I'm going to do all the talking.
Okay, I'm going to go to a deeper register in order to make my voice
check,
less
Griffin and David. This is our
Okay.
miniseries, Pod Me If You Cast. It's about Steven Spielberg. Sometimes they bounce, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, David.
It's about directors.
You could do better than that.
Nah, not really. We're talking about Steven Spielberg's movies.
Producer Ben Deucer Peeper, Funkmaster, not Professor
Yeah,
Crispy.
Ben's here.
Graduated to different titles. Producer Ben Sate, Kenobi Shyamalan.
This should be a short episode.
Yeah, I mean, people are going to hate listening to me on a purely surface level in this episode.
We have a great guest, Pilot
We have a great
Viruet
guest.
from Vice,
Yes.
and my friend,
Many.
My friend.
and you were on one of our best episodes ever, the Star Wars Holiday Special episode.
Yes, you know them best from the time that we forced our good friend, who brought us closer together as friends, to watch a movie that they knew they would hate, and that we knew they would hate, and then...
Didn't remember it. I mean, I don't know. You know,
I have
do you
to
remember
say-
that episode?
No, I forgot I did that.
You did
Yeah.
that.
I think
In
we
this
all
very
brought it
room.
up. Right, but that was the podcast holiday special.
This is Podcast Horse.
Yeah, Pod Horse.
War podcast. Yeah.
Right. Yes, and this time by request, Pilot.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're not forcing Pilot to do this one.
Last time, so
I ran Spielberg by Pilot. The only words were Warhorse.
my explanation was a little muddled there, but just to make it clear, when we were doing the Star Wars run, we didn't know exactly what our podcast was going to be after that, how long we were going to keep running, and Pilot is a pivotal figure in our friendship.
Yes.
It was very important that we had you on. You had not seen any Star Wars films at that point in time.
No, I think it was right after I watched all of them.
Yeah. Right.
At the point
when
where we were
asked
going
you
to
to
cover
do
the
it.
Christmas special.
Yeah.
But then you did watch them all.
Right,
Yeah.
you did watch them all. So
And said Hayden Christensen
I think I was
the star of the
asleep
show.
for like 5 of them.
Right.
Sure. And we felt like, Pilot would be funny on the holiday special. Pilot would have good opinions on the holiday special. You watched it, kind of. You resented us making you watch it. And the episode was kind of chaos. It was the 3rd episode we'd recorded that day.
Was
We'd
it?
gotten in 2 fights.
Yeah, we got in a really bad fight.
We were in our pre-Force Awakens.
Yeah, no, it's okay. We don't
tension,
have to
what
revisit
have you.
that.
But we throw you Spielberg
really,
as a
guys.
list, and you go Warhorse.
Yep.
And when pressed for an explanation, you said horses.
You like
no,
horses.
I hadn't seen it, and all I knew about it was that there was a horse named Joey, which I just wanted to watch a horse named Joey.
Now, did you think this was part of the Friends Joey mythology?
Yes.
Okay.
I assume there's only one Joey.
And it is.
It is.
You know, you watched it to confirm, yes, it is.
Loosely. I mean, it's the split to Joey's Unbreakable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's sort of a side equal.
Yes.
No. So, and then I bet I can't find it. I should go through our message history, but I think your response was, "That's not what I thought that movie was going to
Yeah,
be about."
I also forgot to read about what it was, and so all I knew is it was based on like a children's book. So I assumed it was like a bunch of like just animated horses or something, like doing a play war and just fake shooting each other, and did not realize it was like an actual war and a horse.
So you thought it was going to be like Bugsy Malone, like with like ice cream guns.
Meets
I
Animal
think I was
Farm
thinking, like-
minus political weight.
I think it was like horses plus toy soldiers is what I was kind of assuming.
Sure. Okay.
Which all right. So like let me go through the gestation of Warhorse.
By the way, the movie you're talking about pilot that you want to see is called Horse War. This is War Horse. You picked the wrong one. Horse War is the movie where horses pick up bayonets.
All right, wait a second. Actually, the actual gestation period of a horse, I'm Googling, is 11 to 12 months.
Okay.
But the novel War Horse was written in 1982, so it was a much longer gestation for the movie. That wasn't funny.
I mean, it was charming. I won't even try to sing it because I don't have the range today.
Michael Morpurgo,
Okay.
who is a British children's author.
Congratulations.
He wrote a book about a goddamn horse.
Yeah.
He also wrote a sequel.
Did War Horse 2? War Horses?
It has. I think it's like the like grandson now has a horse, but also
What the fucking horses?
Wait, you have to find a title because I don't
right.
remember what it is, but it's not War Horse 2. It's something even dumber.
It's called Pal Joey, right?
He wrote a lot of books, by the way.
Are they all about horses?
No, God, he writes like a book a year. Good for him.
Do you know this? There's this dude who's like a sci-fi author who has his series, his like big series, and I use the word big
It's
relatively.
called Farm Boy.
Farm Boy.
Just FYI.
Talk about de-heightening.
It was written 15 years later. I hope Spielberg makes it. He should film it.
What I was going to say is there's this dude who has this series of sci-fi novels that's like his weird version of Planet of the Apes, in which bears take over and just become very militant.
Okay.
And the key book in the series... Oh, but they're not actually bears. They're aliens who look like bears.
What are you talking about?
I just wanted to set up this one factoid, which
Please.
is that the key book in the series is called The Right to Arm Bears.
All right.
And the cover is a bear in clothes holding a firearm.
Great. Michael Morpurgo. He writes War Horse in 1982.
Okay.
It's about a horse that goes to the war. Turn your phone off, Griffin.
I don't know if it's me, but I'll turn it on.
I don't think it's me.
This is my Alec Baldwin episode, by the way.
Then, you're very Baldwin-y right now. Then, 2007, they make a play
People love it.
with puppet horses. Crazy puppet horses.
Wait, not even like the Halloween costume with the horses, like two people in one.
I don't believe so. It might have. Well, it might have even taken more people to.
It was like 10 people.
There was these crazy like metal things.
So
right?
like the Lion King, basically.
It's like the
Yes.
Lion King,
Okay.
but the horse is just sort of the skeleton. So it's very representational. If that makes sense? It's like...
No.
It's,
yeah,
it-
but
yeah,
it
here, we'll
looks
show you a
weird.
picture.
It looks weird.
It's like a
Look at this.
horse skeleton, but then with like
I
wood
don't like that.
Yeah.
No, I don't like it either.
There's a guy in the orchestra who played coconuts to do the clip-clop noise.
One comedy point. But so, but that was the thing that kind of made the play break, was that people were like, the puppetry of this horse is unbelievable. There's a nuance, there's a detail, you have people controlling just the ears, and they're not hiding it, you know? You're seeing the sort of artistry.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it
This doesn't sound appealing.
horses? Look, I never saw it.
People loved the play.
It went crazy in London, and
Yeah.
it won all the awards, and like the Queen went to see it.
Right, came here, people went crazy as well.
Went to Broadway, and it won Best Play over like good plays. Like it was like
Death of a Salesman, I think.
Is this like a British thing, like loving horses?
Well, okay. I mean, yes, I guess so, right? British people do like horses.
I
They're very
wouldn't know.
horsey. The
I
word-
didn't grow up in England.
I mean, the word horsey in Britain means something, which is sort of like that you're like a bit of a fancy person.
Well,
like you're part of the horsey set.
Okay, before you start pulling rank, the word horsey means something in the US of A as well. It means the best sauce that Arby's has to offer.
Very true.
Horsey means something on both sides, David.
But I want to call you out, Pilot, because you said you liked horses.
I do like horses. I don't think I like them as much as British people like horses.
Nobody on Earth likes horses as much as every single person in the movie War Horse. That is for sure.
You texted Ben and I last night
Yeah.
with a really hot take on this movie.
I was watching War Horse,
Yes. And,
and
you,
I had a thought.
you said, everyone in this movie really wants to fuck this horse.
I mean, it seemed obvious.
Now, I had not started my rewatch until after that text, and this movie tracked a lot better for me watching it the second time with that in mind. Because otherwise you could go like, man, the character motivations are kind of sweaty in this movie. But if it's a movie about just like, if you view this as the animal version of There's Something About Mary, where it's
Sure,
like
right, where
men
there's
just
something
going
about
crazy.
Joey.
right. Like Mary somehow is this cipher that all men project their own hopes and beliefs and dreams onto. It's not, none of them really engage with her as a person.
but they're all seeing what they want in her, and it drives them insane.
Okay.
Warhorse kind of functions like that.
So yeah, like the French guy is like Lee Evans, and like
Yes.
the German soldier that's like Chris Elliott,
Right.
Like Matt Dillon is
I think the French guy's Brett Favre
Benedict
because he's.
Cumberbatch.
I think the French guy's Brett Favre because he's the one who at the end of the movie. No, the French guy's Ben Stiller because he's the one. The kid's Ben Stiller. The French guy's Brett Favre because Brett Favre's the one who's like
Gives it up. Right.
It's I don't own you. You should be with who you'd be happiest with. Ben Stiller's the one because he was the one at the beginning. Whatever.
Great. So there's this damn play that everyone loves about horses.
People flip out.
People flip out about the horses. Steven Spielberg says he was moved to tears by the play.
Right.
So just imagine Spielberg sitting there watching those puppet horses crying.
Right.
And so he's like, I'm making a movie. I'm making War Horse. This is my movie now. I've made lots of World War II movies. What about a World War I movie? Plus horses.
Now,
He's made 0 World War movies, 0 horse movies.
Correct, on both counts. I remember people being a little confused when he announced this because it was like, oh man, everyone loved that play. But the whole thing everyone loved about that play was the puppetry.
Right, but this one, real horses.
Right. Like, let me try to make a more literal version of this sort of expressionistic thing that kind of touched everybody. Because the story's in very broad strokes.
Would you'd agree with me that it's a little broad, this story?
Yeah. I mean, they're using a paintbrush so broad it's Jim Broadbent. It's the width of a Jim Broadbent.
All right. That's.
I'm sorry.
Fine.
I'm sorry.
Warhorse. So then he makes Warhorse. He's going to have Eddie Redmayne play the lead role.
And I'm going,
Isn't the lead role the horse?
Well, fair enough.
Eddie Redmayne was going to play the horse.
He's a horsey guy.
Wait, is that the name of the horse?
Redmayne?
No, I think his name is Joey Blackmane.
Oh, sure.
The mane is black.
I got it confused. Sorry.
I believe I texted Pilot saying, what is it about this horse? And Pilot said, he has white shoes or something, white feet.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's an actual detail. I
It
can't
is.
remember.
Yes.
Okay,
White
because I knew there was
socks.
something because he has like described the horse. I'm pretty sure it was white feet.
White socks.
And he made this movie. It cost a bunch of money.
Yep.
It's a big World War I epic. Mm-hmm. And it's about a horse.
Came out 2 days after Tintin.
It came out like the same week as Tintin.
Both movies make an almost identical amount of money.
Yeah, it made $80 million domestic.
This
170
gets
worldwide.
like
It got a
3
Best
Oscar nominations.
Picture
It gets
nomination.
Best Picture, Best Score.
6 Oscar nominations.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, cinematography, art direction, sound, score,
Was this the year they decided, like, hey, maybe it shouldn't be 10 every year. Maybe it should fluctuate?
Yes, I think so.
This was
I think
the
this is the
last
last year
full
of
10
10.
And I feel like
Warhorse.
this movie might have had an influence on that, where it's like,
I mean, there are people who love this movie.
yeah,
I'm not one of them. But I think I like this movie more than anyone else in this room, maybe. All right, I think this is a good movie if you take out the horse. That's my hot take. Seriously. I think that there might be a good movie in here, but no horse.
So then, who do they want to fuck in that
I
version?
don't know. Eddie Redmayne? Somebody. But just like there are sections of this movie that I'm very excited about.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I think
but,
there are a couple good movies in this movie.
But then there's all this stuff with the horse.
I'm going to give it 2 sugar cubes out of 10.
All right, Ben.
And that's the end of our episode. Pilot, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, the horse.
Pilot, what did you think of Warhorse?
I hated it.
You hated it.
Yes.
Full on hate.
I for some reason did not suspect there would be a lot of violence in a war movie, and the horse just made me sad all the time.
This horse goes through a lot.
It's really brutal to watch.
Pilot, you are not a huge fan of violence.
I mean, I am. Just not in the case of horses,
Okay.
because I like horses.
Your
You're
favorite...
fine with violence against people.
Oh yeah, no, like that's fine.
Especially, right, but not so much. What if it was a puppet horse?
Yeah,
Right, so it's the real horse.
it's the real horse that upsets me.
Yeah.
Stop me if I'm incorrectly assessing this, but I feel like your favorite genre is talking animal, right?
Yeah, and this horse did not fucking talk,
Right.
No animals speak in this movie.
which is like, what's the point of a movie?
It could have at least had a thought bubble. Let's be honest.
I was waiting
Right.
for the inner monologue to start.
Right, the horse is like, Jesus.
But you like movies...
Not another war.
Oh, brother.
You call me Warhorse. The bit at the end where Toby Kebbell's like, he's a warhorse. I was like, come on! He didn't need to say it.
My dad used to, like, pimp me out to do my
I was
impression...
like, you're right, yeah, he's a warhorse.
I used to do an impression of Warhorse, not of the character, but of the movie.
Okay.
That was based around that moment. That my dad would be like, "Griff, do that Warhorse impression again." Be like, "Well, hey there, what's this horse there? This horse, it's a warhorse, isn't it?" "No, it can't be a warhorse." "Yes, it is. I tell you, it's a warhorse."
Jesus Christ.
It would just be people talking about whether or not the horse is a warhorse.
It's a warhorse.
Yeah,
But
it is.
that's true. Okay, so, all right.
I don't think it was that great at war. It was just
wasn't.
great at not dying.
It is good at not dying.
This horse is one of the worst warriors I've ever seen.
Okay. I want to get no. More. This horse gets born, it stands up. The
Yeah.
movie literally starts with its birth. And everyone is just like, God, what a fucking horse. What a great horse. Some guy buys it, and they're like, why'd you buy that horse? Shitty horse for farming. The army buys it. They're like, no, this is a bad war horse. Not good for war. So what's the point of this horse?
Right,
It's just hot. It's just like a hot horse.
the only owners who like the horse and think it's impressive
Right.
are the Frenchman and his granddaughter, who are like, "This horse is great. He will kill you."
You can't ride him.
Yes,
They just want to look at him.
yes, he will kill you.
So is the horse like a symbol of like innocence or something? Like what is the deal with the horse?
Fuckability.
I think if Jerry Hayes would get on 10 Sugar Cube fuckability
I think it's a movie about coveting.
about just like gotta have that horse.
Yeah, gotta have that horse. It's such a weird film. Well, because, one of the movies I think is a big influence on this, right? There are two things I look at as sort of Rosetta Stones for what I think Spielberg was trying to do in this movie. And very often Spielberg will pick a project based on like, oh, this is a type of thing I've never gotten to do before, right? He'll pick an element and go, this is subject matter I've never dealt with.
Sure, never made a World War movie.
Or this kind of actor, or this kind of genre.
Never made a horse movie.
Never made a Harold
Bestiality
scene either.
movie.
Yeah.
Ben's happy.
Bestiality movie, yeah. He never made a movie where people were trying to cuck a horse. But
You're terrible.
I'm a terrible person, yes. I will not fight this.
Go ahead.
There are two things I think drew him to this movie. One of them is I think he kind of wanted to make his Ohazar Balthazar, which is...
This is a terrible version. Okay.
I think this... Well, yes.
Yes. A movie about everyone's won't stop being obsessed with a goddamn horse. That's a glutton for punishment.
Right. Ohazar Balthazar is a Robert Bresson movie about this donkey that travels from owner to owner.
And is Jesus.
Right, and it's Jesus.
Right.
And essentially witnesses the evils,
Right.
the blunders, the blind spots of humanity.
I guess this... Yeah, all right.
Suffers.
Okay.
That's what he was trying to make. But the thing with Ohazar Balthazar is that the donkey is a mirror for its owners. Like, they don't try to really make the donkey into a character.
Right.
It's more that, like, the donkey is the plot structure of how you get from person to person. This movie is about how fucking great this horse is.
It's a good horse.
Which Ohazar Balthazar isn't.
It's not a good horse.
Well, okay. All right. Well, this is the crucial debate. Is it or is it not
It's
a good
a
horse?
perfectly mediocre horse.
Mediocre, says Pilot.
It's a good-looking
Fuckable,
horse.
says Ben. Good looking, says
I've
you.
seen hotter horses.
All right,
Oh,
now-
no question.
Now, I don't know shit about horses. Show me a horse, I see a horse. I don't really get it.
Well, a horse is a horse, of course. We know this.
So what's good or bad about this horse?
I mean, I think... Oh, wait, are we still talking about, like, his war abilities or, like, his fuckability? Which one?
I don't know. I mean, just if you saw him on the street, I guess. Like, what would you make of this horse?
I would be like, that's a horse. Let's send it to war.
And what... You would just find a war for it to be.
I mean, get you a horse who can
There's
do both.
one moment
Yeah.
where someone says, like, look at the muscles on him. And
Yeah.
that's like the one specific, like, attribute, I guess. He's like a well-built horse.
Yeah.
Handsome.
No, he's got long legs too.
Oh,
Say
long
that.
legs, but he can't jump.
But he
Bad
can't
at
really
jumping.
do anything. Like,
He
the
doesn't
kid
do
at the
anything.
beginning, like, tries to teach him, like, fetch or something, and he can't, like, figure it out.
All right, okay. So let's get to the plot of the movie. But what did you want to? So he's trying to make an Ohazar Balthazar, but instead
Right, because that's viewed as sort
the
of
horse
this,
is the main character instead of the people.
but that's viewed as this very canonical film where people go like, how did he pull that off? How did Bresson do this magic trick where there's a movie where the main character is a donkey and you empathize with the donkey?
Yeah.
And I think the way he does is that the donkey is kind of a Rorschach test.
Right. Okay.
Okay, the second thing I think he was trying to do is right before the release of this movie, the year before, Cowboys vs. Aliens comes out.
Ugh.
Follow me here for a second.
Okay.
Cowboys and Aliens.
Definitely has horses in it.
Yes. And Spielberg produces it and Ron Howard produces
It's the same year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, same year. I thought it was 2011.
So Jon Favreau does this series of videos on YouTube the year the Cowboys and Aliens comes out, where he's so proud that he's got a movie that Steven Spielberg produced, and they do these series of videos where they're talking about filmmaking together. You know, and it's like clearly the idea behind the videos was this is Spielberg tapping the sword on either shoulder and going,
"Okay,
Favreau, you're next in line," right? But Spielberg tells the story. He says, like, tell me about, you spent time with John Ford when you were, like, young and you broke onto the Warner Brothers lot and you'd be there and this and that.
Okay.
And he said, once they sort of spotted me and they knew what was up and they said, this kid wants to make films, I said, could you introduce me to John Ford? And they brought him over to John Ford one day. John Ford brings him into his office and he goes, I heard you want to be a picture maker. And he goes, yeah. And he goes, let me ask you a question. Can you tell me what
you want to fuck
see?
this horse?
What, do you want to fuck this horse? And Spielberg said no, and he said, until you want to fuck the horse, you will not be a good picture maker.
Okay, what did he say? Come on, wrap this up.
This is the whole story. Yeah, at the end of it, okay? He goes, look at these two paintings, tell me what you see. And the two paintings are both of just like the fucking West, right? The plains.
Yes.
And he says, it's just two pictures of the same background.
Okay.
And he goes, but what do you see? And he goes, well, here, that's the trees, this and that. And he goes, what do you see? And he keeps on pressing him until Spielberg, who's like 18, goes like, well, the sun's setting in this one and the sun's rising in the other one. And he goes, and why? What does that mean? And Spielberg goes like, I don't fucking know. And he goes, if you can figure out the answer to that question, then maybe you can be a good picture maker. And that's his whole weird fucking... And John Ford was like a piece of shit, right? As a guy. He was a really good filmmaker, but like a lot of stories about him being a piece of shit. This feels like Spielberg not just trying to make his John Ford movie, but also trying to make a movie that's entirely about the difference between when the sun rises and when the sun sets in a very blunt way, and that this movie fucking starts with a sunrise and ends with a sunset, right?
That's very interesting. But I have something even more interesting for you.
Sure.
This is the number 2 movie on Box Office Mojo's category, horse.
What's number 1?
I want you to guess.
The number 1 horse movie of all
Is it?
time.
Wait, is it Racing Stripes?
It is not Racing Stripes. That is number 8. We could do all 10, baby.
Okay.
Hidalgo?
Hidalgo's number 5.
It's not Spirit.
4.
A Stallion of the Cimarron.
What?
Flicka?
Flicka number 11. Didn't make the top 10.
Okay.
All the Pretty Horses?
All the Pretty Horses is not in this list, which seems rude.
The number 1 film, does the horse talk or not?
No talking.
And it crested 100?
So not the Horse Whisperer.
Not the Horse Whisperer, which is... give me a second. Number 3.
I need to know less horse movies.
You know a lot of horse movies.
What's that horse diving movie?
Black Beauty? Is that one?
Black Beauty is...
How is that not number 1?
You know, because it came out a while ago. It's number 19.
This is bullshit.
Seabiscuit?
Seabiscuit. Number 1. The only horse movie to crack 100 mil at the box office. Seabiscuit.
Hey, it's almost as if horse movies don't have legs at the box office.
Yeah, you guys got... I'm just going to talk over that. You guys got everything but Secretariat, number 7.
Oh, yeah.
The Black Stallion, number 9, which is similar to Black Beauty.
Yeah, they're basically the same. All black horses look alike.
Right, they're... Dreamer, Inspired by a True Story, number 10.
Okay.
With Dakota Fanning.
Sure.
And Kurt Russell. And something called The Electric Horseman. Is that at Redford and...
Yes. Yeah.
Fonda. Okay.
Can I give you a similar fact?
Yeah.
Celine Buckins, who plays the French Mrs. Glass in this movie. Miss Glass.
My bones. That's what I always think of when someone has that condition. Is Emily Mortimer in 30
Can't put my bones.
So,
My bones.
when watching the movie, was like, oh, did she ever act again? Because this was her first film, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
So I went to her Wikipedia page. It's, she played Emily in War Horse, a role she won. Her character in War Horse is a young French girl, lives on a farm, this and that.
Yeah.
And then I went to the rest of her profile, and it just says, Celine Buckins is a Belgian-British teen actress. In 2017, she will appear in Netflix children's television series, Untitled Horse Mystery Project.
I am obsessed with this, by the way.
You've been tracking this project?
Yeah, and there's no info about it at all.
But you just know that there's an Untitled Horse Mystery Project.
Yeah, and like I've emailed them and nothing.
What did you email exactly?
What is the mystery?
Did you say you were hot to trot?
I said I wanted to write about the Untitled Horse Mystery Project, but need to know what it is. God. And they did not reply.
Maybe it's like Dick Francis novels being adapted.
By a horse or starring a horse?
The horse wrote it.
I hope it's just a War Horse TV series. Just every week.
There's a lot of casting going on for the Horse Mystery Project. So,
Celine Buckins is in it.
Jalen Barron, whoever that is.
Oh, the great Jalen Barron.
Carrie Ingram.
Oh, the great Carrie Ingram.
There's been some casting.
Okay.
All right.
This movie starts with
A horse getting born.
Jeremy Irvine witnessing the birth of a horse. He is coincidentally there at the time and place of the birth of a horse, and God, is it love at first sight.
Now, Jeremy Irvine.
Yes.
This was almost Eddie Redmayne.
Yep. And then, like, in a surprise announcement, like, there were
Something
deadline stories that
happens,
were like,
yeah.
it looks like Eddie Redmayne's in advanced negotiations.
Right.
And then suddenly, oh no, the lead of this film is Jeremy Irvine. And Spielberg was like, we had been in the audition process for 2 months, and he was... The line I thought was really interesting was he said, Jeremy, we kept on going back to his auditions. He did like 10 or 20 auditions. And he was the only one who seemed to have the right communication to play the role.
Right, because he seems like someone who'd rather talk to a horse than a person.
I think communication is a very interesting word for him to use.
You got to buy this character as someone who doesn't give a shit about his family's failing farm,
Right.
or like the war with Germany happening just overseas, but this horse. Like when a letter arrives, they're afraid that it's about the horse.
Right.
Like, not like, oh, is Uncle Jim okay over on the front, or what, like the people in town who are fighting? No, is the horse okay? How's the horse?
And on that count, Jeremy Irvine succeeds wildly.
I guess so.
If you're only judging him through that one prism, it's maybe the most successful performance of all time.
He's very... Look.
What were you going to say, Pilot?
I've got nothing. I just cannot believe anyone cares about a horse that much.
He cares.
But he sells that, if nothing else.
I guess so. The only other thing I've seen him in is Stonewall, which is like one of the worst movies ever made.
He was the lead in that?
He's the lead twink. Not that that's a word I can use. But he's got that vibe in that film and in this film. Would you agree?
Yeah.
He's very handsome, but in a very boring way.
He's a sweet boy.
Yeah, he's got an apple face. And
This is a real Apple movie.
it's a real shiny red apple of a movie.
This is the Macintosh of motion pictures.
Look, we've talked about this with some of these other Spielberg movies. Now I want to look at the list but like where he keeps trying to like find the next kid, like Justin Chatwin in War of the Worlds.
Justin Chatwin's great.
Okay, Pilot, sense the judgment in my,
Super
in my
babies.
voice.
Baby Geniuses 2, Super Babies. He's in that.
He's
fantastic.
Is he only in that one?
Yeah, only the second one, I believe.
Does he play baby?
No.
Okay.
No.
Pilot just looked at me with such contempt.
No.
No.
I'm trying to think of. I mean, obviously Shia in Crystal Skull. I feel like there's another kid. He's sort of like he's sort of looking for kids. I mean, the girl in The Lost World, Jurassic Park.
Right. Vanessa Lee Chastain.
Yeah. I don't know. He's bad with kids all of a sudden. Like he's not picking the right kids.
Yeah.
All right. That's
I
all
like
got.
the kid in BFG a lot, but we'll get to that.
Oh, she's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty cute.
I thought that was a good pick, a good find.
So the horse gets born,
and he's there, and it's
and
like,
it grows up, and Jeremy Irvine's always like checking in on the horse.
But like this movie opens with a sunrise, right?
Yeah,
it opens with shots of a sunrise over a field.
Yeah,
and then
a golden sunrise,
and immediately John Williams is doing the most score any movie has ever had.
Yeah,
truly the most music I've ever heard in a film.
Yeah,
by all definitions.
Yeah, everything's a theme basically.
Right,
yeah.
and you see a horse being born, and it cuts to
you do.
It cuts to the reaction of Jeremy Irvine just going, "Oh, look at that horse."
So he's basically like imprinting on him.
That's what I was gonna say. Thank you so much, Pilot. That's what I was gonna say.
So it's like when the little weird baby is born in Twilight.
Correct.
And Taylor Lautner falls in love with the weird baby, and they're going to get married even though it's a weird baby.
Doesn't fall in love, imprints.
Because he's a
devotes
wolf.
his love in a way that he will
Right.
never be able to give his love to anyone else ever again, and is now sworn to protect and love and care for.
Right. So you're saying that's the deal with Jeremy Irvine and this horse Joey.
Right. The first 3 minutes of the film feel like 15 minutes, and it's a series of sequences totally silent of Jeremy Irvine watching this horse be born, grow, prance around, achieve full size.
So creepy.
Very
weird.
Creepy. Very fucking creepy.
Okay. But here's my first problem with the movie.
Yeah.
So first pivotal scene is an auction.
Yep.
Peter Mullen, great actor.
Great director, too.
Good director. Plays Jeremy Irvine's dad.
Drunky Mick Drunkenness.
Yeah. Old drunk farmer.
Drunky-o drunkery.
Farmer Booze.
Yep.
And then David Thewlis plays like Lord Evil, like the mustache and sideburns only, land baron or whatever.
Baron Persnickety.
Yeah. And he's like, I shall have that horse, £1 million, please. And Peter Mullen, not Jeremy Irvine, is like, £1,001,000. Like he like dares defy his lord.
Right.
To outbid him. What does he care about the horse? What? He just like briefly falls in love with the horse and then quickly wants to shoot the horse in the face.
I mean, he probably feels like his son isn't going to find like anyone else. So like he better like support this relationship. Yeah.
But when he brings the horse back to Jeremy Irvine acts like, oh, wow, this horse, I've never seen this horse before. Like he doesn't own up to.
Oh, he's like, oh, cool horse. Yeah, no, it's a good horse.
Yeah.
Good horse. I'm going to call him Joey. I'm going to make a special owl call for him.
I'm definitely enjoying I'm enjoying meeting this horse for the first time. I haven't spent weeks upon weeks watching this horse from its birth. The implication, I guess, is that David Thewlis is the evil land baron.
Yeah, but he's not even evil. He's just a dick.
He's just a guy.
And like he's like, there's a fuckable horse, and what purpose does a fuckable horse have if not just to hang out in like a fancy manor,
right?
And be ridden around by rich people and not do much and eat hay.
Maybe do some dressage.
Yeah, do a little dressage. Yeah, be like a dancing horse.
Sure.
Right?
Yes.
Right, exactly.
Well, look.
A silly horse.
Look at this auction, okay? What does David Thewlis have to gain from owning the horse, right? He's a rich man. He could just put the horse up in a nice stable.
His son is kind of like,
Right.
I mean, it's okay. His son's not even that into the horse.
But the idea is that it would be a show horse.
How many times are we going to say horse?
We're going to say it so much.
The idea is that it would sort of be a show horse, right? The horse would sort of tie the room together, and it would be around, and he'd have the money to care for this horse and treat it to the best light possible, right?
Right.
Now, he's looking at Peter Mullen. Peter Mullen, he knows. Thewlis knows that Peter Mullen needs a workhorse.
Yeah.
A literal workhorse.
He's supposed to get that other horse who's like boring horse.
Right, because Peter Mullen has to pay David Thewlis rent.
Yeah.
He knows his farm work is not going well because Peter Mullen's drunk. He needs a horse to make it through the season.
So you're saying Thewlis is trying to fuck Peter Mullen out of his land?
No, I think Thewlis wants the horse because he thinks it's a good-looking horse.
It's a good-looking horse!
Then Peter Mullen wants the horse, and David Thewlis is like, not only do I want this horse more than you do, but also, you shouldn't have this horse. It would be irresponsible for you to buy.
It's a stupid decision to get this horse.
I've
This is
looked
not
at
the
your
right
books.
horse. Right, yeah, right.
I've looked at your land. You should not buy this horse.
Right.
But the film's immediately, like, giving David Thewlis, like, reaction shots of him, like, waxing his mustache tips.
And also David Thewlis is, he excels at playing kind of like a sniveling evil guy.
Yes. And so they fight over this horse.
They buy the fucking horse.
Peter
Look,
Mullen
we gotta
buys
move
the
it. This
fucking
is a 2.5-hour movie. It's a long movie.
And now they got this horse. They got a real wacky goose.
Yeah, they got a wacky goose. The wacky goose has like 4 scenes.
Yep.
Did Danny DeVito play that goose or something?
Yep.
If this was War Goose, I would be so much happier.
War Goose is a movie I would sign on for.
100%.
Steven Spielberg's War Goose?
Yes.
That is it bites people. It's
goose?
a goose that bites.
I mean, it's better in a war than the horses.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's little. It can like weave in and out of traffic.
Can I say the goose gives a better
All the war
performance?
traffic?
Yes.
Yeah, war traffic.
Yeah.
That's how war works, right?
Yeah.
It's like a big traffic jam.
We're pitching so many sequels here.
Yeah, the goose is better than the horse, you're saying.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it must have been multiple horses, right? It can't have just been the one horse.
Sure.
Horse.
Horse.
So,
Here's the farm. Emily Watson. I don't know. Why'd you buy this horse?
Emily Watson, first build in this movie.
You flipped out over the billing in this movie.
I was texting Griffin about the billing.
Yeah.
Emily Watson is first build. She's like, you bought this fucking horse. I hate you. But I love you, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
And whatever. Well, I guess we'll make do. It's sort of hard to tell how much he's bankrupted the family by buying this horse. It's not good.
Yes. This is one of those movies where every single line of dialogue every character says is the most important thing they have ever said or will ever say in their entire life.
Okay.
Like everything is a grand proclamation.
Yes. Yeah. So the horse has to plow a field. There's like 20 minutes of the horse plowing a field.
And it's like Jeremy Irvine.
People like gather to watch the horse plow the field.
Jeremy Irvine pretending he doesn't love this horse. It's just like, this is a job. I guess I'll have to do it.
It's tough love. He's like negging a horse.
Yeah, he's negging this horse.
Also names it Joey.
Names it
after Joey Tribbiani.
Right.
which we've it's been established because they were watching Joey earlier.
And this film is long, right? It's an epic movie. I understand Spielberg wants to tell an epic story, but to literally give us a 22-minute section.
I counted. It's 45 minutes before they go to war.
Right.
So for the first 45 minutes, you could just call this movie Horse.
And 22 of those minutes are just Jeremy Irvine watching an episode of Joey. Like that's
not even a good one.
That's abusive to the audience.
No.
If I want to watch Joey, I'll watch it on my own. I don't have to watch it couched in a horse movie.
Yeah, but Jeremy Irvine brings a lot too. Watching him watch Joey really brings a lot to Joey.
It's like that Vice show where Action Bronson watches Ancient Aliens.
Is that a thing?
Yes.
Pilot.
Yep.
You can verify that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. The horse plows the field.
Eventually.
Takes a while.
Takes them so long to learn how to plow a field.
And before that, they have to like break the horse, right? They have to like put a little thing over its head.
Yeah, what was that? It was just like basically like an inflatable thing for a pool.
It's
the
like,
horse,
it's like that neck pillow people take on the airplane.
Yes, it looks like a toilet seat or a neck pillow, but inflatable. And I guess that makes the horse plow fields.
Yeah.
You put the plow on it.
But when they're talking about this stuff, there's so much weight to breaking the horse. And I'm like, why does everyone know about horse lingo? What is going on?
Dude, there's not a lot going on in Devon.
They have horses and they have war, and that's it.
I guess.
They got horses, they got war.
And they have Joey.
Did you hear about the Johnson's horse? Like, is that what's going on? Oh, boy. God, the Smith's horse, though?
Jeremy Irvine keeps disobeying when his father's like, this is how you break a horse. And he's like, I got my own way.
He's like, no, I'm just going to whisper to it and do owl calls. Peter Mullen literally produces a rifle to shoot this horse in the face. Because he's like, I've had enough of this horse. Sell the horse if you don't like the horse.
And Jeremy Irvine, like, grabs the rifle and puts it to his head.
I know, it's like all the way to 11, like all of a sudden.
Immediately.
He's like, fuck this horse!
Yeah.
I would have loved if it ended there.
Shoots the horse. And Jeremy Irvine's like, no! And like throws himself on the gun.
There's the big day when he's like, I'm gonna get this horse to plow the field today. And everyone comes to watch. Like, people start going like, hear about the horse? Oh my God, the horse can plow. It's like the Beatles Let It Be concert.
Yeah.
Where people are like, this is big, we have to come. And literally the entire town comes out to watch.
Yep, they
Horse
all watch.
Fails conclusively. Everyone leaves. The second everyone leaves but one guy, the horse starts doing it.
Yeah, the horse has like performances.
The horse is like Michigan J. Frog. Like, it can plow when no one's watching.
But less racist.
To frogs? Yes.
There's also a scene where Jeremy Irvine's like, God, my dad's such a dick.
Yeah.
And Emily Watson's like, he was in the war, so shut up.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that's just another scene.
And it's like, but he's a drunk. And she's like, yes, he is, but for a reason. But yeah, it's like, she gives the big speech about how brave he is and the horse and the whatever and the whatever.
And then I have one more thing before the war starts.
Okay.
Everything seems good.
Yeah.
The horse plows the field.
Yeah, 45 minutes, almost entirely devoid of drama.
They plant the turnips, except for at one point where the dad almost shoots his son.
Right. But there's the moment where Thulis comes to him and he says,
yeah, Thulis comes, and it's like Inglourious Bastards, except no one is at risk.
Right.
He's basically like, you're doomed.
And he goes, give me that money. And Mullen goes like, I'm going to make this horse work. And he's like, that's impossible. Right. And he's like, give me an extension and I promise I'll pay you back double.
Yeah, pay back with interest.
And then the movie just has a very long time.
They plow the field of turnips, and then everything looks good, and then it rains. And everything's ruined.
Oh, no.
I don't know if you remember this pilot.
The only thing I remember after the plowing and before the war is the horse drag races a car.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
That's the only scene I enjoyed.
That's the other thing. Jeremy Irvine's got this horse, baby. And
he's going to race cars.
This rich guy's got a car.
And it's
which
Thulis'
in
son,
yes,
right?
in
Yes.
1914 is a pretty big deal. Like, cars are still new on the scene.
It's like owning a spaceship.
And Irvine's like, I don't need any car. I got a horse. And so they race and the lady is kind of like, check out that horse. She wants to fuck the horse. Everyone wants to fuck the horse.
Right. He's peacocking with the horse.
The lady wants to fuck the horse, but the guy thinks she wants to fuck Irvine. But no, it's the horse.
The horse is so impressive she stands up in a moving vehicle, right? A convertible with no top.
She might not know that that's a big deal in a car, though. She might not know how cars work.
But I remember when this trailer came out, and the trailer was just the monologue that I butchered, and then shots of the horse over it.
And then, like, the trailer ends with, like, a 5-second shot of the horse just, like, looking right at the camera. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And this was like kind
Why did anyone go see this?
Several
$80
people
million
saw it.
domestic.
It was seen.
That shot-
Number 2 box office mojo horse category.
That shot was kind of a centerpiece shot of the trailer. The woman slowly standing up in the moving vehicle and
check
giving
out this horse.
the Spielberg look at the horse.
Right.
And I remember people being like, Jesus Christ, this fucking movie. Like, that trailer was like 6 months before the movie came out, and it was like, is this what the whole movie's going to be? Like, just a series of Spielberg looks at the horse. And guess what? It is.
Yeah.
It's basically like from National Lampoon's Vacation, but with a horse.
So the horse, the World War One starts.
Can we start calling it the Wars to save time?
The war horse? What? The wars?
Wars.
The wars. Okay. So the war starts. Tom Hiddleston shows up.
Probably
at
best performance
Market.
in the movie, right?
My winner would be my Oscar winner that year.
Your Oscar winner for Best Supporting Actor?
Such an incredible performance. Pilot.
No, I would say the horse is the best actor.
But no, the horse is lead.
Yeah.
Hiddleston
sure.
would be supporting.
I thought Emily Mortimer was lead.
Yeah, that's true.
First build.
It's Emily Watson, but also true. Also true.
I
My
confuse
bones.
all the Emilys.
Well, Emily Mortimer actually did secretly play the little French girl with the bones.
Yes.
I did for a while keep thinking Emily Blunt.
Yeah.
Look, there's some British Emilys out there, guys. Keep your eyes peeled. Tom Hiddleston buys the horse. Why does Tom Hiddleston buy the horse?
Good looking horse.
He likes his horse.
Because it very quickly becomes clear they're like, this horse isn't fit for war. And Jeremy Irvine comes over and he's like, please.
He's like, don't buy this horse, you dick.
And he's like, look, I know this horse is worth more than you say it is.
Right.
Than I just bought it for.
But that's all I got, baby.
Even though I know the horse isn't good at the job you hired it to do and will not be good at the job I'm hiring it to do.
War.
Damn, what a good looking horse.
Now, we'll get to everything Hiddleston does, but I just want to address the fact that Hiddleston buys the horse,
Yeah.
takes the horse to France.
I'm sorry, first makes an insane promise, which is, I'm paying you $300 as a loan. I promise you.
Yeah, right, I'll bring the horse
If I live
back.
through this war, I will personally return the horse to you.
Then draws charcoal pictures of the horse,
Yeah.
just of its face,
He draws it like one of Jack's
to
French
keep.
girls.
Yeah.
He really does.
Just to keep Jeremy Irvine informed of the horse's progress, which
Yeah, that's-
all he's
Wait.
saying is like still a horse, like it didn't turn into a cow like when we took it to France.
Can I just share one thing really quickly?
Anything.
Of course.
So when I was a kid in horseback riding, I was very into drawing horses, and it was the only thing I could draw, except I couldn't draw horse heads. So I had an entire sketchbook that was just headless horses.
It's like something you'd find in a
so
horror
weird.
movie, some child's book of headless horses.
The horses are really hard to draw. Like their heads.
You
really
could have
hard.
done a
Horses-
really good Godfather spin-off comic book series.
All those headless horses. So you did ride horses.
I did.
Wow, this
Did
is
you
a
enjoy
huge
riding horses?
Sort of. It mostly is uncomfortable, and it hurts, and
Right.
the horses don't really want to play.
Well, you have Mr. Glass syndrome.
Yes.
No, but it does
My
seem,
bones.
it does seem like a lot of work. It seems like a lot of work to ride a horse.
I mean, kind of. Once you learn how, it's fine, but the first few lessons are really annoying, and the horses are generally just very surly all the time.
So you know who isn't surly?
Who?
Joey.
Sure.
Joey the horse.
Yeah. Now, so when you say that, this horse is okay looking, you don't get why people find this horse so attractive.
No,
You're
it's not like
someone-
a Clydesdale or anything.
Right, exactly. You're someone who's seen a lot of horses and been close to a lot of horses, felt the magnetism. I mean, you're
This is
speaking
a-
from a greater point of reference
A
than the
bay
rest of us.
horse. Just
Ugh.
that's its breed.
Like BAE.
Yes, but also no. But also BAY, which
5
is
comedy points, Pilot.
it's just a hair coat color. All right, so we don't even know what
It's
kind of a
a
horse it
very
is.
mediocre horse, entirely. Its abilities, its looks, it's just it wouldn't ever win an award.
It's like the Tara Reid of
Wow.
horses.
Basically, it's not even that talented though.
You can cast it well.
You have a bit of a Tara Reid voice right now.
I really do.
Yeah, you're sounding hoarse.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
War horse. So the horse goes to war, which
Yeah.
is the war in the movie's title.
This movie's so long.
It's very, very long. This movie is incredibly long.
Yes.
Would you say that this movie is long, Griffin?
Oh, yes.
It's quite long.
Let's talk about Hiddleston's performance a little bit.
Love Tom Hiddleston in this movie. Tom Hiddleston at this point has he?
This is the year
Thor comes out this year, so he's
He
starting.
just hit the map.
Right. I mean, he's been around.
But in
I'm
terms
looking
of
him up.
major American film, he just hit the scene.
Yeah, he really had. He'd really been in like nothing.
Yeah. Thor came out earlier that summer. Avengers comes out the following summer. So the Hill Stoners, all of that had yet to happen.
Is that what they call themselves?
Yeah. Yeah, right? Right?
Apparently he's F. Scott Fitzgerald in Midnight in Paris. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah, he's very good in that.
Well, he's a good actor, and he's good in this.
Right.
He's
so
great.
Yeah, I mean,
Plays James Nichols, the captain.
He's the only actor I think is
loves
fully
this
on the
horse.
right page. Yes.
I think Cumberbatch is too. I think that this whole section is the part I like of the movie. I like this part.
My favorite part comes later.
You twerp. You like the glass bone girl.
No, I don't.
No.
No, I don't.
That shit's bad.
No, I don't. And that speaks to the failure of this movie because I should love that.
Right.
That's
You're
so
a
in my
sap.
wheelhouse.
Right.
I'm a sap and a contrarian and a goofball. And to make a movie about a little French girl with glass bones who just wants to ride a horse.
It's Griffin Newman A+ #1.
Yeah. Yeah. Like they botched that shit. I think that's the worst section of the movie.
So I like this part of the movie because it is kind of about what was happening in Britain during World War I, which was like all these people sign up for war because they just think like, this is going to be great. Like, we're going to go overseas. We're going to have some triumph. Like, we'll return home victorious and like, full of daring do. Like Tom Hiddleston legit is like, I'll be home soon with the horse. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And they like meet up in France with Benedict Cumberbatch, and Benedict Cumberbatch is like, check out my horse. My horse is a black horse, and yours is brown. So, good horse, right? They have a horse race. There's supposed to be a war going on. They have enough time to do a whole race.
Well, and Cumberbatch.
There's a lot of racing in this movie.
A lot of racing in this movie. Cumberbatch and Hiddleston are the two actors of this movie who feel like they stepped out of 1947.
Yeah.
Their faces match.
Although that would be 30 years off from when this movie is taking place.
I'm talking about more the
the acting. Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
like
the
this is
style
an old
of
40s
filmmaking.
movie.
That's
right.
but he's trying to make a 40s movie.
Yes,
right.
definitely.
And even just in terms of their awareness of their angles, they're doing these very stilted, physically controlled performances that also have like a depth of feeling, which is the thing that when people try to make films as homages to that time, always becomes tricky. Is it's like, can you train actors who have been schooled in a greater
Can you train
form
them
of,
like horses?
Can you train them like horses?
Can you
To
break
plow
them?
fields.
Yes.
Yeah. Can they
them in?
plow? Can they put on the donut?
Can you fuck them? Can you train actors who have been schooled in a greater form of naturalism?
No, I get you. Yeah.
Into a performance style that still has emotional depth and honesty, but is very theatrical. And these two guys, unsurprisingly,
They're good at it.
really fucking good at it. And they have the right faces and the right voices, and they give real movie star performances, and then they both die.
That's what I love. So they're just like, this is great. My horse is faster than your horse. They probably like making out in the tent. So they're, I don't know, right? Like they all seem to be having a great old British time. And then they're like, great, now we're going to do a cavalry charge. This will be fun. We're going to like surprise some Germans.
Right.
And then the Germans are just like, oh, okay, well, we'll just use our machine guns.
Yeah,
because this is like modern warfare. And then they just all die.
They brought a horse to a gunfight.
It was a hot horse, but it was a horse.
Yeah.
And there's that fantastic shot of Hiddleston's face when it's like he's doing his charge and then he just realizes like, oh, this isn't going to work out for me. And then you don't even see him die. Like that's the last you see of him.
Now, Pilot, I'd like to, at this point, set up a segment for this episode, which is as a talking animal expert, as someone who recapped every episode of Dog with a Blog, I believe has seen all the films in the Air Buddies franchise.
Yes.
How would you, in this film, were you given a pass on the script or even a pass in the edit room and gave Joey the ability to speak, what do you think Joey would say in this section of the movie?
Well, first, in my version, Joey would not be a male horse.
True.
And she would be voiced by Wanda Sykes.
Perfect.
And she
I'm
would
loving
say,
this so far.
shit! And she would get the fuck out of there. That, I
boy.
think, is how Warhorse should go.
Cool.
If Wanda Sykes, that would be great. If Wanda Sykes was just the internal monologue of this horse, essentially.
I think that's the only way to save this movie.
So you'd have this movie played by Garfield rules?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So wait, what are Garfield rules? Like the animals talk, but the humans don't understand them? Is that Garfield rules?
We can hear, they can't, but they can kind of infer emotionally.
But wait, does Airbud talk?
No, Air Buddies talk.
Air Buddies talk, right? But that's not canon.
No, not canon.
Right. which we've discussed before on this podcast, I believe.
Don't make me
And
angry
in
about
real
this
life.
again.
Okay.
Can I say something crazy for 1 second?
No. Yes, go ahead.
Do you know that the television series, The Penguins of Madagascar, is not canon within the Madagascar universe, and then the movie The Penguins of Madagascar, based off the TV show, is not canon within the TV show?
But is it canon within the movie universe?
I don't think so.
So you're saying there are 3 separate canons.
Yeah.
Madagascar.
Correct.
Penguins of Madagascar,
Correct.
brackets TV.
Yes.
Penguins of Madagascar, brackets film.
Fucking correct.
Wait, of all the animals in Madagascar, why would they spin off the penguins?
I don't know.
Penguins are cute?
No.
Wow. That's actually kind of a hot take.
I mean,
Not a
they're
penguin
like fine.
Oh, well,
They're not cute enough for a spin-off.
Do you mean these specific penguins are not that cute, or all
I mean,
penguins?
real penguins are like fine.
Yeah.
These penguins are kind of
I don't
surly.
really, yeah, what do the penguins do? There's a bunch of them.
They're like a shittier
Also,
version.
like when you think Madagascar, you're not like, yeah, penguins.
Also very true.
They're like a shittier version of the Green Army Men from Toy Story. The
Right.
whole bit is that they're like Roger, and they're always on missions. They take everything very
That
seriously.
doesn't sound funny. They made a whole movie about them?
They made a 4-season TV show and then went like, this is such a rich dynamic. Oh, but fuck, we can't make a movie without stepping over the toes of the chronology.
Of the Noah Baumbach scripted Madagascar universe.
Yeah. So then they made a movie that has nothing to do with the TV show, which has nothing to do with the original movie.
I don't accept this.
Nope.
All
So,
good.
War Horse.
Yep.
Hey, what do you guys think of the European accents, but in English? That are like sort of like sketch comedy, like, you know, subtle.
That's
like,
true. Okay, so
cool,
we can
cool
point
stuff.
that out because the horse in this battle gets captured by the Germans.
Mm-hmm.
Germans are, they're just like, oh, it's a good horse. We have caught the horses. Now we fight the war. Like they just speak English. There's not even an attempt.
And here's the craziest thing about the accents in this movie.
Yeah.
All of them are at like Pierre Lescargot level.
Yeah,
right?
right. It's like the voice cast of Ratatouille.
Right. But they also all are played by people actually of that
They're all played by
nationality.
German actors.
Yes. And same with the French actors. Like all of that is insane.
But they're like, oh, yes, yeah, right. Niels Arestrup is just like, I'm in France.
Right.
My granddaughter, she is bone broken.
Right, like Niels Arestrup is like fucking Belgian, speaks
Little
French
Miss Glass.
fluently, and meanwhile he's giving like a fucking Garofalo performance.
Hey, Garofalo's great in Ratatouille.
Yeah, she is, but like that's part of the heightened reality of that movie. Captured by 2 German boys, one of whom is the literal fuckboy from The Reader.
That's right.
Yeah.
Guess what?
They love this.
They want to fuck this fucking horse. They just fought this terrible battle with the Brits and mowed them all down with guns. And then their first thought is like, check this out.
I like that that's the thing that everyone can agree on during a war is like this one horse. I really want to fuck it.
Is that the metaphor? Is like, you know what?
I don't think it's a metaphor.
Well, right. Even in war, like, we're all going to want to fuck the same horse. Like, there's always going to be things that unite us as people, like as a race of humans, as a species.
This is the human condition.
Is that we want to fuck this fucking
one
hot
horse.
horse. And to a lesser extent, that other horse that's also pretty cute.
You almost feel like if the horse could talk, this movie could become Lysistrata.
Yes.
Like the horse could just be like, no one fucks me until the war stops, and the war would stop immediately.
We should also note that, yes, at this point, Benedict Cumberbatch's black stallion horse also is sort of in the action as like horse number 2.
Mm-hmm. And it's like a love triangle.
Yeah, because Joseph Cross is like, love both of these horses. They're good horses.
Yeah.
And the German guy's even like, hey, you're good with the horses. You keep the horses. Yes. And he's like, can my brother help me with the horses? He's like, what? No. Like, it's crazy that one person would be in charge of the horses.
But like,
he gets to go to the front.
Right. The Black Stallion is kind of the Julia Roberts to Joey's Cameron Diaz, and the entire human race is Dermot Mulroney.
Okay. Now I'm following you.
You know?
Okay. Who's Rupert Everett?
Niels Arestrup.
Okay. So now they have the horse. So now there's like a German horse drama.
Right.
This is where the movie, I'm just like bored out of my mind.
This is where the horse becomes a traitor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, by the way, no one ever court-martials this horse for fighting for the Germans.
Right. And starts selling secrets, too. The horse is like, yo, Loki.
We should also mention that the horse has a little bandana.
Yeah. Cute.
What do you think? A little bit of flair.
I do not remember this.
Jeremy Irvine like puts a bandana on the horse. And
Yeah, I
is
was
like,
definitely asleep.
That's my special bandana for you.
Right. So you can track the horse in the movie.
So he knows which one to fuck.
Right, the brown one.
Yeah. The Germans hide out in a
White Sox.
Big Chicago.
Yeah, the Germans. So one of the Germans is 14, and he doesn't want his younger brother to. The older one doesn't want Joseph Cross doesn't want the 14-year-old to go to the line. So instead, he's like, "We're going to run away. Guess what? On these two horses to Italy.
Hide out in a windmill.
We're going to hide out in a windmill just for the night with the horses. Makes no goddamn sense at all.
Talk about sex a lot.
Yeah, let's talk about all the fucking we're going to do, but also like weirdly imply that all Italian women are fat.
Right.
Which, like, come on, man. It's like 1914. Everyone's skinny.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of food.
Yeah. They also wrestle a bunch. It feels like they're just trying to diffuse the sexual tension of both them wanting to fuck this horse. Like, they're like, let's talk about women. Yes, women.
And then they get executed.
Yes.
Like that.
And is this the moment where you see that from the horse's eye?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
You see it reflected in the eye of the horse.
Yep.
I want the
Literally.
entire movie to be like reflected that way.
That'd be great. What if it was literally only shot from what the horse is seeing, but you only see the reflection in the eye?
The first HOV movie.
Horse of View. I would give the movie 5 stars.
Right.
It would be a masterpiece.
Yes, it would be a good movie.
But I would call it From the Eye of a Horse.
Right. Yeah, horse eye.
Yeah. Horse eye.
So, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now the horse is free, I guess.
Yeah.
And then the horse goes to live on a farm
Right.
with a French guy who makes jam.
But first of all, let's not breeze past this pilot. What would Wanda Sykes the horse be saying in this German sexual tension windmill section of the film?
I'm not going to do another Wanda Sykes impression.
Yeah, stop making Pilot do Wanda Sykes impression.
It's a little racist.
I really was annoyed.
You're the one who picked Wanda Sykes!
It's true.
Don't say that! I didn't give you an actor!
Listen to how mad he got.
Make the horse fucking Jeremy Irons for all I care.
I was a little annoyed that Blackish is not spinning off Wanda Sykes. Just because I want Wanda
Yeah,
Sykes to
no,
have her own
definitely.
show again.
As a horse.
That'd be great. So now the horse lives on a jam farm with a jam man played by Niels Arestrup, who had just been in the Prophet, which he's
like
great
5
in.
different movies.
Really, it is 5 movies.
Yes, it is.
And we are in movie 4 now.
Right.
The Jam movie.
And
Yeah.
each movie feels like baby Spielberg. Each movie is here's Spielberg trying to say something about the human condition. Oh, fuck, I only have 25 minutes to do it.
Right.
Let me do the most movie I possibly can.
In 25 minutes, and then thus the movie's still going to feel super long, but also completely lacking in anything.
This is like the Michael Bay movie of Steven Spielberg movies. Because
I would
he's
love to
doing
have someone
as
on who
much.
likes this movie, because I'd love to have it explained to me. Because, this is my problem with it.
I kind of get it. Like, it's so classical. It's so sincere. It's so straightforward. I understand how one could like this movie. But it feels like Spielberg is overloading everything at every moment.
I agree.
Like, every character is explaining what the horse means.
I think it's marketed to people who are fans of war movies and also fans of bestiality. I think that's like the best Venn diagram.
Which is about $79 million in the box office, apparently. So,
Right.
All right. The Jam Man.
Yeah.
He makes jams.
Yeah.
His daughter's got brittle bones.
Her parents are dead.
Sorry, her parents died resisting the war or something. I don't know. We don't really know.
Right.
And the guy's like, I'm a coward. I didn't fight. And it's like, man, you're an old man who makes jam. Like, what are you supposed to do? Germany occupies France right now, at least the northern part. Like, come on. Like, what's he supposed to have done? He's looking after a nice girl. What's her name?
Untitled Netflix horse mystery.
And then it's just 20 minutes of this shit.
And she
I don't
wants-
know what else do you say
She
about
wants to
it?
ride the horse, and he's like,
She
don't
wants
ride
to
that
ride
horse.
the horse. He's like, it's a bad idea. And the Germans come steal all their jam.
Okay, so I had checked out so far in this movie at this point that I did not know she had like brittle bone syndrome.
Yeah.
I thought like her grandfather was really protective of that horse. He was just like, I don't want you near my horse. I don't want you hurting that horse. I did not know it was like a medical
Get
reason.
your butt off of the horse.
Because it's like she is like, I discovered these horses in the windmill. Coyote much? Like her first joke is like,
oh yeah, right. She makes a Don
maybe
Quixote
they read
joke,
Don Quixote.
Right.
It's like, okay, fine.
And there's nothing else
Terry
to say.
Gilliam.
Niels Arestrup's a good actor.
Yeah.
He's fine.
He had
I
like
guess.
just won the New York Film Critics
He's
Circle
in a
Award.
Prophet 2 years ago. He's fantastic.
He got the
in it.
surprise Critics Award, and then the day after, Spielberg was like, "I cast him."
Yeah, Warhorse.
Like, it fell into this category of, like, someone discovers, like, an actor of another nationality, gives him a key supporting part, and Spielberg's like, "I've grabbed him."
Yeah.
Like,
He'll
it's
be
like-
grandfather.
Right. It's like Kumar Palana in The Terminal.
Right. What's his pants in Munich?
Yes.
Yeah, Michael Lonsdale or whatever his name.
Yes,
Anyway,
and Almaric and all of them. Yes.
right. So,
Guy pops in a foreign film.
the whole Germans come and take the horse. Like, what else am I supposed to say about this?
Right.
The horse isn't going to live on Jamland forever.
Right. He finally lets the girl ride her horse on her birthday.
And, like, when she does, the Germans
She
take
just
the horse.
dies. Her bones just break completely.
I thought it was going to be Casper. The first time I saw this, I thought it was going to be the setup where, like, Casper just wants the sled. He finally gets the sled. He gives himself hypothermia and he dies.
Is that how Casper died?
Yeah, Casper's the most fucked up movie of all time.
I have seen Casper.
Okay, the
but when
first
it was
half of
in
the movie,
theaters-
Casper can't remember how he died. And Christina Ricci won't stop asking him. And she's like, "How did you die?" And he's like, "I don't fucking know." And then they uncover his father's basement where the father died trying to build a machine to bring people back to life through a magical potion and a Rube Goldberg series of, like, contraptions. And then through that machine, they uncover his secret bedroom where it all comes back to him. And the story is that Casper wanted a sled more than anything. And every day he's begged his dad for the sled and he never got it. And then one morning he woke up and the sled was there. And he was like, "Dad, why'd you give this to me?" And he's like, "Because you're such a nice boy." And he went out and had the most fun he had ever had in his life riding the sled, then got hypothermia and immediately died. His father went mad trying to bring him back to life. And Casper now lives alone in a house with 3 bully ghosts who fuck with him day in and day in.
Who are
Is
they?
this just a cautionary tale against asking for gifts?
Yes. He's too nice and he got punished for that. They're his fucking cousins who moved in with him after they died. And now he's just obsessed with Christina Ricci and wishes that he could be with her, but he can't because she's a ghost and she has a crush on a human boy. And at the end of the movie, they get together the material for one fucking life potion, but they have to spend it on Bill Pullman because he gets drunk with the ghost and falls down a sewer.
I do remember that. I also remember that when the ghosts eat, it just falls through them into, like, a pile of food on the floor.
And then Christina Ricci's mother, who's also dead but is an angel because ghosts can become angels if they no longer have unfinished business, says to Casper, because he did a selfless thing, he can be human for 1 hour.
And then
Cinderella
he
rules.
kisses Christina Ricci.
He's Devon Sawa. He kisses her.
Right.
They levitate, and then he goes back to being a ghost.
Pilot opinions on Devon Sawa.
Okay, fucking love Devon Sawa.
I just, for some
Mostly
reason, I knew that was
well,
gonna.
okay,
Yes.
because he's in the Eminem video and he plays Stan. Like, how can you not love Devon Sawa
It's
after
true.
that?
He does play Stan, who murders Dido.
The original Stan.
I would say his best roles are the Stan video and then Casper, which apparently I have to rewatch, and then that's it.
What about Idle Hands? That feels like a real
I mean,
teen pilot movie.
Yeah, but that's more like Jessica Alba, not like Devon Sawa. He's like, ugh.
Yeah. I snuck into
I just
Idle
remember the
Hands.
like garage door scene where someone gets crushed or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Well, also, that happens in Scream as well. A lot of garage doors crushing. People were really afraid of garage doors in the 90s. All right.
What about Wild America? Do you remember that?
Is
do
that
not.
with
I've never heard
lions?
It was like a boy buffet movie. It was like, I think Devon Sawa.
Wasn't Jonathan
Jonathan
Taylor
Taylor
Thomas?
Thomas.
Yes.
and
okay.
and one
Scott
of
Bairstow.
he was the third one.
Yeah.
I thought it was one of the Lawrence brothers.
That was basically just like sponsored by J14 magazine.
No,
Yes.
that's it.
It's
Francis
just
Fisher.
it's just them in the wilderness meeting animals, going, "Hello, how do you
I'm
do,
reading.
Mr. Bear?"
So, by the way, it's the cast list is here, and everyone's name is given except for Zach Ward as DC. This is written in the Wikipedia page. Who's really more of a punk affiliate rather than a friend of the Stouffer brothers. He just likes to get involved with them over matters that involve danger. I don't know who wrote that. I'd love to meet him.
I know who wrote that. The director of Wild America.
William Deere?
Yes,
All right. Who also directed Harry and the Hendersons?
Oh.
All right. Warhorse.
Warhorse.
So they steal horse from Jam Man.
Right.
And then it's meanest time for the horse. Now people are not being nice to the horse. After people who wanted to fuck the horse for a while.
The horse never gave it up.
It's true.
Yeah.
Credit to the horse.
Yeah. Now this is actually
Now
a
a
movie.
fat German guy falls in love with the horse and is like, but his job is just to tie horses to artillery and they have to like drag the artillery.
But this is like the men's right section of the movie, where it's like all the people are like, this horse is a fucking prude, hasn't given to anyone, barely fights in the war.
True.
Like it
doesn't fight in the war.
It's just baiting us.
Well, it's in one charge, I guess.
This horse is baiting us. And the one.
I mean, just look at the way the horse is dressed.
Yes.
Like those white socks.
The entire fucking movie.
Except for those white socks, though. So the horse runs away.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know.
The horse.
There's another 20 minutes of this shit.
Runs straight into barbed wire.
Oh yeah, no, fuck that scene.
So
I
this
hated
is
that
clearly
so much.
what Trip pilots.
Yeah. I almost stopped watching.
So it's a rough scene. So my guess is when the puppet does this, it's a little different. But in the real movie, the horse escapes from its German captors who are going to tie it to some artillery.
Yeah.
Runs away, and you're like, go, horse, go! Runs into no man land. This is during the Battle of the Somme. So 4 years have passed.
Yeah.
So I guess horse lived with Jam Man for a while.
Yes.
All right. And then gets caught in some barbed wire, and then
he just keeps going into more barbed wire over and over.
It's
This is not a smart
wire.
horse. It's clearly a really stupid horse.
It's a good call, not a smart horse.
No.
You can't go to war if you don't understand how barbed wire works.
This is a horse who's been at war for 4 years and still doesn't know how barbed wire works. And it's World War I, which is the barbed wire war.
It's also a fucking turncoat. Can't pick a side.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. None of this movie's been plausible, right?
Right.
None of it has been remotely plausible. Yeah. Toby Kebbell sees a glimpse of this horse, basically just a mound, just like a shadowy figure on no man's land.
Yeah.
He wants to fuck the horse so bad that he climbs into no man's land, into the front of the German guns, just to get a look at this horse.
Yeah.
That's all that happens. Here's how it should go. Toby Kebbell's looks like there's a horse up there, and his commanding officer is like, yeah, okay. I mean,
they don't even think it's a horse at first.
Yeah, first they're like, is that a guy? And they're like, no, it's a horse. And he should be like,
and he's like, well, if it's a horse, we got to get it.
Well, you see,
why would you go get it?
You see this long run of Joey running through a barbed wire fence after barbed wire fence. It's a little bit like the Sideshow Bob Rake routine, where any direction Joey turns, it walks into another barbed wire fence. And then Joey's lying on the ground, right, writhing in pain, fade to black.
Right.
And that's the first time Spielberg's really done something like that in the movie.
That's the end of the first act.
Right. Right. Now there's 4 hours left in the movie. And then when it fades up, it's Toby Kebbell in the foxhole with the periscope. Oh, someone's moving out there. What is it? Oh, it's a horse. Oh, God damn it. I'm going to go out there. I'm definitely
going to go look at this horse.
Right. And then
the Germans are like, what's he doing? Looking at a horse? Shoot him.
Well, okay. So I think this is the one good section of the movie.
I hate this.
I
God, I hate this. No, I can't believe you like this.
I like this.
So then a German comes out, and then they meet at the horse, and he's like, looks like a horse, and the German's like, yeah, it's a horse.
Everyone comes together over the fucking horse.
Right. They cut the horse free, and then they're like,
they make out with the horse.
Literally, both of them are like, now I get to fuck the horse, and they flip a coin over who gets to fuck the horse.
Right.
Eiffel Tower.
They try to be civil.
The specific I want to throw out
A-frame
is when the German calls for more bolt cutters, wire cutters, and it's like they throw 20.
Yeah.
They really want to fuck.
I think this scene is the movie that Spielberg wanted to make.
Sure, that's arguable.
I think this is a movie.
Nah, the Hiddleston stuff's what is to me what the movie should be.
See, I think this is a movie where everything the movie's trying to do in 2.5 hours is negated by the fact that it sums up all of its themes in one 8-minute section.
Right. And its themes are war's silly and
horses are cool.
Yeah, we should just
let's focus on the things that unite us rather than divide us.
Horses.
And that's how the war ended. That scene ended the war.
Yeah, right.
But this is also
there was this great horse.
This is the only scene in the movie that's conversational. It's the only scene where the characters, everything they're saying.
What about the time those two German brothers talked about how fat Italian women are, guys?
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to forget that scene. But they're squabbling over how to cut the horse free. They're not talking about what the horse represents.
It's a cute scene.
It's the one sequence of the movie that isn't super fucking on the nose.
Yeah, but then the horse gets up and they're like, quite a horse. And they say a lot about the horse.
And then he says war horse 12
he
times.
Says it sure is a war horse.
But I think that moment where Kebbell gets out from the foxhole, goes to the front lines, cuts the horse free, and then you slowly in the background of the shot see the German appear from the fog and expect he's going to get caught, right?
Yeah.
His humanity, his empathy for this horse has fucked him over, and the other guy's like, so don't cut that. And he's like, what? He's like, we'll snap back this and that.
Yes, you
And it's
must
just
cut this part of the horse.
two men trying to ignore the war
Doing a Russian
at
accent.
hand and just talk about the horse. And I find this a little effective.
And at some point during all this, there's also the scene where Jeremy Irvine's back. He's in the
That
war
happens
now.
right after they cut the horse.
Right, and then they invade the German trench, and then they get like attacked with gas.
Yes.
And Jeremy Irvine's simpleton friend gets gassed to death.
Right.
Irvine survives, but he's blinded
Temporarily.
This
Yeah,
is the other
like,
part
for
I was
a
confused
day.
about.
Right.
Because I remember the barbed wire, and then suddenly he was blind. I didn't realize something happened in between that because I was just like, "Fuck this! I'm no longer watching this movie."
Right, well, the barbed wire's
and then
tough.
suddenly he's blind.
There's a gas attack, but it's just 1 day blindness.
Yeah.
So that he can accurately describe like the horse's like entire body in this scene where the horse is now like the war is over.
Right.
And the horse is in like a horse hospital with their people. It's in a people hospital, I
vet.
guess. Well, but there's no vet. Like it's just in the people hospital. And then 2 more people fall in love with the horse.
Yeah.
Eddie Marson and
great
Liam
Eddie
Cunningham.
Can
Yeah.
I say one more thing about the barbed wire sequence before we fully move
No.
on? No, because this is important. This is important. This is important. I think a thing that worked against the movie was like this was one of the like most humane animal films ever made. They didn't put the horse in any actual dangerous situations, and anytime the horse is in danger, it's either CGI or like the best fucking animatronic ever created. You can fall down a YouTube rabbit hole of watching the animatronic test for the horse, which is they're unbelievable. It's like the best robotics that have ever been made. And so the whole barbed wire sequence is a robot horse that they pulled off so well that it's uncomfortable to watch. Like, it's a weird, like, uncanny valley that they actually conquered. So that if the horse looked more fake, that would be less upsetting to watch because you'd accept it as, like, movie magic. But the way it is, you're just watching it the whole time. You're like, what did they have to put this horse through?
Look, the
Like,
horse
not
is-
just the
this-
character,
they
but
do
the
some crazy
actual horse
things.
on set. But they actually didn't do any of that.
Okay, fine. I don't care.
I just think that's interesting, especially because at the time we're
I
recording
didn't
this,
think
it's a
it
week
was
after A
like the
Dog's
real
Purpose
horse,
came out.
Griffin.
Okay, then maybe I'll just speak for myself. But watching it in theaters the first time, I was like, Jesus Christ, they had to fucking like,
All right.
to make this horse cry this much.
We'll get to. I didn't see this film in theaters. I saw it on a plane.
I went to the fucking premiere of this film.
Wow.
I saw
Was
this
there a
film.
horse? Was a horse there?
Yes, walk the red carpet, clop, 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 clop. They premiered this film at Lincoln Center, where in the theater where Werewolves the play happened, and Spielberg like gave like a 15-minute speech before the movie,
Jesus.
and yeah, it
All
was
right.
weird.
Good for you, Stevie.
Yeah.
Chinton was better.
He introduced his cast as the players. He said, I had a great company in this movie. I'm excited to introduce the players.
So the horse, they like the horse.
They love the horse.
And
I like that when he describes the horse, it's basically like a 15-year-old boy who memorizes centerfold.
Yes, it is. That is exactly how it sounds.
Yeah.
He's got like a divot in his head and white socks, and God knows what else he says about this horse.
He's got this little tattoo.
They're going to shoot the horse, right? And then he's blind, but he starts whistling, and then they reconnect.
Right, no, it's not forgetting. He goes
and,
like,
As you just do randomly.
Right. So you're like, oh, this is what the movie's about.
so
the
he's
horse
reunited
gets
with
back
a
to
horse,
barn.
but then we get one more auction scene where Jam Man returns to be like, I bid all my jam for the horse.
Has walked here
A
from
life of jam.
his windmill in France.
Yeah, I guess so. And Jeremy Irvine, and like then he buys the horse. He paid £100 for the horse.
He says-
the horse immediately walks to Jeremy Irvine,
Yeah,
which is a dick move.
They're bidding now, like Kebble's at the auction,
Right.
Marzin's at the auction, a recited Irvine is at the auction, right?
Right.
So it's like all our favorite friends are back trying to buy this horse, and it's like bidding like 20, 30, 40, and Arestrup just comes in and is like 100.
Yeah.
Like he goes crazy.
And he gives a whole speech. He's like, and if you do not like let me, I will sell my farm and it'll be
I will sell my
1,000, all
quote,
my jam.
Right.
Wait, I want to know the current U.S. equivalent of how much they paid for this horse.
Yeah. Oh, can you?
Because
pull
I
that
want to
up?
know if it's worth it or not.
What's 100 guineas? David's looking it up. But he buys the horse and is very adamant about, like, I'm not giving up this horse. I bought this horse for my granddaughter. I know this horse so well. I heard legend of this horse. I came all the way here just to buy this horse. I got here within 3 days of hearing this story, right?
Yeah.
And I bought it for my granddaughter. And they were like, oh, what's your granddaughter do? And he's like, she's dead.
I'm sorry. I'm really just trying hard to find this for you.
Yes. And Jeremy Irvine, it's like, I know you want this horse. Maybe you spent time with this horse, but this is my horse. Maybe you rode this horse in war, but this is my horse. And Eddie Marsan's like, this boy didn't ride the horse in war. He trained the horse. This is his horse.
He didn't train him very well.
No. And then Niels Arestrup is like, oh, okay, never mind. Here's the horse.
Okay, can we rewind for a second?
Yeah.
When did this girl die?
Okay, she died off screen.
Yes.
And the implication is of a broken heart.
Yeah.
I believe.
Not her broken
He
bones?
says the war took everything.
100 pounds
Yeah.
in 1918, 6,250 pounds now. It's a lot of money.
It's like $10,000, $9,000. Yeah.
So 30 pounds is about $2,000.
Wow.
That's too much for a
pounds,
horse.
sorry.
Sure.
It's a lot of money. How much does a horse cost?
I mean, a horse is actually pretty expensive. But, like, I don't know. I feel like if you just want to fuck a horse, like, you can find a cheaper one.
Yeah.
Apparently, a horse costs that's how much it costs to own a horse, which is about $2,000. Because you need a stable, you need hay.
Yeah.
I can go on.
Well, there's that famous phrase. The famous phrase, don't buy the horse when you can have its cock for free. And this movie doesn't abide by that.
Oh, my God.
This movie is about man's folly.
It's the exact opposite. They keep buying a horse. They never get the cock.
They never get the cock.
That's true. Is that what the point of the movie is? Like, you can't buy this horse. You might try.
It's just you can't buy love. That's the entire thesis.
You have to earn it.
You have to earn
By
it.
sending the horse to war.
By sending it to war.
You send your love to war, you
The ultimate neg.
The ultimate nay, you might say.
Yes. So is this just a...
And then at the end of the movie, it's like Jeremy Irvine gets the horse and
Is
and
this
then
just a pickup artist movie?
20-minute like love scene. It's great.
Is this just a pickup artist movie?
Yeah, that's what it is.
I think
Right?
so.
Yeah, that's why it was nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards.
Jeez.
Horse,
he
we
gets
did
the
it.
horse back, and
That's it.
There's a sunset.
Yeah, there's like a sunset and 2 minutes of the horse's face.
The most color.
Yeah.
The most music. The
Yeah.
most sun. The most horse. It's just everything at every moment.
Horse.
Horse.
We've said horse thousands of times.
Literally thousands. of times.
war horse, ain't it? This here horse you talking about? Yeah, this horse been to war. It's a war horse, I'd say.
Are you done?
A war horse.
It opened number 7 at the box office. We did this game for Tintin, so
Yeah.
we can't do it again. We can't do the box office game, but we did horses.
Right.
So that worked.
Why would this is so boring? Like to shoot this even? He's just filming a horse for like half a year.
Maybe he wanted to film a horse.
That's terrible.
I want to know Spielberg's like personal feelings on horses.
Yeah, do you think he like fell in love with horses like later in life, and that's why he suddenly like
Maybe.
was like
Maybe it's
said to
like
his
his
agent,
midlife
like-
crisis was like that horse.
yeah, you got that specific horse.
Yeah.
Do you think he like said to his agent one day, he was like, "Hey, if anything crosses your desk with like horses in it, just let me know."
That horse became like his Sybil Shepherd.
Yeah, right.
What if he had ruined his career just making more vehicles for this horse?
Yeah, right. It's like he's like, I don't know, man. I think Abraham Lincoln could use like a horse character.
People are like, this horse is conclusively not a movie star. He's like, it hasn't gotten the right project yet.
Ready Player Horse. Let's see.
Bridge of Horse.
Bridge of Horses. 3 months of horse training before they shot the movie.
Oh my god, the horse wrangling behind the scenes.
280 horses were used in one scene.
What do you think Crash Services was like? Do you think they had a bunch of apples and carrots?
Ooh, an animatronic horse was used for the barbed wire.
I said
Yeah,
that.
yeah, right.
That's what I was saying.
We weren't listening to you.
Yeah, I know.
You knew at the time.
Yeah.
John Williams took inspiration by visiting some horse.
Just some horses.
Jesus
Yeah, just in California. He just went to see some horses.
Just went up to a horse farm like, hey, can I look at your horses for a bit?
And then they just made music in his head, in his brain.
I cannot deal with the score to this film.
It's really bad.
I think the main theme is kind of lovely. I think
pretty bad.
I'll make a confession. I was playing a lot of cell phone games while watching this movie on my couch, and I could pretty much visualize every shot by listening to the score.
What cell phone games were you playing? Come on.
I'm playing a game called Disney Emoji Blitz. You have to match emojis with Disney characters, and if you do, they become happy emojis, and if you don't, they become sad emojis.
That sounds really bad.
And we're recording this in January, which means they have a special event going on, which is the Mulan Chinese New Year event. So Mulan and Mushu have double powers.
I played a game called Bubble Witch Saga 3 for a while, but
I hate that.
it wasn't enough of a saga.
I was playing Restaurant Story 2 when I was watching this movie.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
This is a real cell phone game.
yeah, it's
right?
a real cell phone.
You only need to look up every 30 minutes and know what's happening.
Yeah, I just saw a Triple X, which I wish could, I should have seen that at home playing with my cell phone.
Well, that's wrong. It's a masterpiece. We will cover it on our miniseries, The Films of Vin Diesel.
DJ Caruso. It's a DJ Caruso joint.
I want to do the franchises of Vin Diesel as a miniseries.
I don't know about that.
How many horses are in Triple X?
0.
Doesn't sound like a real movie.
Agreed.
Yeah, but I mean, come on. Come on. Donnie Yen hung like a stallion.
Look, I got no opinion on Don Yen's genitals.
I got an opinion.
But I think he's great otherwise.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like, we've run out of steam. Right?
Pilot,
That's it, right?
Pilot, what do you want to talk about? Let's pick some topics.
No, I want to keep talking about horses.
Okay.
There was not one single shot of a horse erection in a 2.5-hour movie about horses, which I feel like is false.
Yeah.
There's always a lot of horse erections on horse farms.
Yeah, Freddy Got Fingered is one of the few movies that covers that correctly.
Yes, if you want to talk about Freddy Got Fingered, I can do that.
I would love to.
It's one of my absolute favorite movies.
Not surprising. It's a real pilot movie.
David, where do you stand on Freddy Got Fingered?
Saw it when it came out, 2001.
Yes.
Was disturbed. Have not seen it again.
Ben, where do you stand on Freddy Got Fingered?
I rewatched it recently, and I was sort of surprised. I mean, it's great. I loved it when it first came out. I was sort of surprised of this is fucking disturbing.
It's very
It's really disturbing, but it's also really funny.
I mean,
but the sense of humor, it's still my wheelhouse. Just absurd.
I
gross,
rewatched.
so
ahead.
good.
I rewatched the Bum Bum song, which when I was 13 I thought was the funniest fucking thing in the world.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're looking at my watch. I was literally like, all right, we get it. You put your bum on things.
Rip Torn showed up and did that movie
To get drenched in elephant cum.
Yeah, all the gross things.
Yeah.
Rip Torn goes for it.
I like that
You know,
movie.
Rip Torn almost robbed a bank one time.
I did know that.
And then it turned out the defense was that he thought he was in his home.
Yeah.
And apparently every time he walks into his home, he takes out a gun and says, "Give me all your money." That was truly the defense in court.
Held up.
Yeah. Yeah, but Freddy Got Fingered...
Freddy Got Fingered I have seen over 100 times.
That's a lot of times.
In my defense, at one point, my roommate was doing a stop-motion film for her film class, and Freddy Got Fingered was on in the background, so she had to keep rewatching it and rewatching it, and it was the best day of my life.
There is a moment in Freddy Got Fingered where Tom Green is driving down the road, and he sees a bunch of farmers trying to make the horse erect so they can extract its semen.
Yes.
He stops his car,
Yes.
pulls over, gets out, grabs the horse cock, the erect horse penis,
remember.
wiggles it about and goes, "Whoa, whoa," it says whatever Tom Green thing.
Yeah.
And there's a close-up of the horse's penis in his hand. It is not fake.
Yep.
And then he gets back in the car and the movie continues.
Yep. That's true. You
Which
also
is basically the plot of War Horse.
all right. Okay, that's good.
That is... Yes.
That's a good ending spot there.
They could have included that as the making of War Horse on the DVD.
If Tom Green was in this movie, I'd give it an extra star.
Yeah.
As it is, 3 stars. Could have used more horse.
Is there a game we can play in lieu of the box office game? I know you said the horse thing, but what would be fun?
What would be?
What would be? My voice is dying. What would be a fun horse related game? Okay, Pilot.
Because he talking about?
I don't know.
Pilot. I'm gonna give you an animal.
You're going to actually give me an animal?
Yes.
Sweet.
If you win this game.
Okay.
The game is I'm gonna name an animal, and you tell me what talking animal franchise you would construct around that animal. Okay.
Fine. Sure.
Okay, so you have to figure out what's the right setting for
We
that.
usually play improv games on our podcast.
I know, but I feel like this is gonna really. I know it sounds like I'm putting you on the spot, but what I'm trying to do
What
is
the fuck? Just say it, Jesus.
okay, flamingo.
I think it would definitely be a gymnast.
Cool.
And
That makes sense.
yeah, and it would be just this little teen flamingo gymnast trying to make it to the Olympics, but then turns out she has eating disorder. It gets
wow.
real dark in the middle.
Okay, so the whole film, the flamingo's a good gymnast. That's not the struggle. It's not an underdog story. It's about
Is there a mean mom?
It's self-acceptance.
there's always a mean mom.
It's
There's always a mean
self-acceptance.
mom.
And the mother probably had an eating disorder as well, right?
Yeah.
And unconsciously passed it along to the daughter just through her like micro like aggressions and her actions.
Do you guys remember The Devil Inside?
Yeah.
No.
Just looking at the other movies Warhorse went up against
It
the
was
box
the
office.
found footage movie with the woman with the lip.
Yeah, she had a little cross on her lip.
Yeah.
was a
The
horror
poster was
movie.
her like,
Oh.
One of those Catholic horror movies.
okay. Pilot, what franchise would you build around a parakeet?
Definitely a rapper.
That's also true.
Okay, now in this world, are there a lot of animal rappers, or is this parakeet existing trying to break into the human rap world?
It's basically 8 Mile, but the parakeet is Eminem, and then all the other parakeets happen to be black.
Okay.
And he just has to go up against him and prove his worth as a parakeet.
Okay, so it's about parakeet prejudice.
Yes.
Parakeet on parakeet prejudice.
Sure.
Okay, grasshopper.
Enough.
I like this.
I don't.
Really? Okay.
Contraband. That was another movie.
That movie did weirdly well.
That was about Mark Wahlberg tying money to his tummy.
I used to have a hot take on that movie, and I totally forgot it. I remember sitting in the theater and being like, this movie's a 6, but I think there's a good take on it.
Underworld Awakening.
Yeah.
I apparently did not go to the movies this year.
The Gray.
And we're
Did you see
talking
The
Jane
Gray?
Is
Eyre.
that the wolf one?
Yeah, Liam
No,
Neeson
I have
making
not
out with
seen it.
wolves. Really wants to fuck those wolves.
That movie is really good.
Chronicle, The Woman in Black.
Andrew. Do you remember that in Chronicle?
Vaguely. I
When
didn't
Dane
like that
DeHaan
movie.
goes bad, the other guy just keeps on yelling at him as Dane DeHaan's flying in the sky, shooting lightning bolts everywhere. He just keeps going, Andrew! It's like, stop it, Andrew!
Still think The Woman in Black sequel should have been called The Woman Back in Black. And that's the end of the podcast. Come on,
Great.
wrap it up.
Great. Pilot, thank you so much for being here. Where can people follow your work?
At Vice. You go to Vice.com and search for Pilot. I'm probably the only one there. Also on Twitter, Pilot Bacon.
Yep.
Is Pilot Inspector Riz D. Lee no longer working at Vice?
No, we fired him because there could only be one.
Okay. I met him once.
No.
Yes.
He's my enemy.
Really?
Yes.
Because of the name?
Yes, exactly. I was here first.
This is the son of Jason Lee
Oh, I'm aware of who Pilot Inspector
and
Lee
Beth
is. Yes.
Risegraph.
Yeah.
And I did a unaired pilot with her. And she was an incredibly nice woman.
Yep.
Had a really nice time working with her.
Yep.
And one day we were sitting at the cafeteria together having lunch.
Yeah.
And she said, like, oh, my son's on set today. You want to meet my son? I said, sure. And she brought him over and she said, this is Pilot Inspector. And I had, like, failed to put together the entire time that she was the mother of Pilot Inspector Risegraph Lee. And I had such a hard time fucking talking to him. It's very hard to, like, have that be one of your go-to joke references is just someone's name and have to look them in the eyes and be like, you're a 12-year-old person.
Hello, Pilot Inspector.
Yes.
And how is Pilot Inspector?
Nice boy.
Yeah.
I could take him in a fight.
Yeah, you definitely
Probably could. He looks very gentle. He has
definitely
golden curls.
Yes. Sweet kid, though.
Sweet kid.
Sweet kid.
Love you, Jason Lee. You're a weird Scientologist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too bad. Remember that show where he played an Elvis impersonator and a cop?
Memphis Blues?
Correct. All right. Great to have you, Pilot.
Always the best.
Thanks for talking about this hot horse.
So angry.
I feel like exhausted.
Good horse. It's a little hot in here.
Yeah, it's a little.
It's cold outside.
It's cold outside, baby. It's cold outside. Thank you all for. I feel like I shouldn't even do this wrap up because it's so. Everyone at this point is like, please stop talking.
Everyone at this point has just deleted this podcast.
You try to do the wrap up, David.
Thanks everyone for coming, talking about that walkable horse.
Sorry
Joey
for my
the
voice.
horse.
Yeah.
Joey the hot horse. Thank you for being with us, Pilot. And as always, keep fucking that horse. I don't know.
That'll do,
Yeah,
David.
that'll do, horse.
That'll do. I mean, I'll say, David, I was really dreading this episode, and then you now have given it a read that I find it in.
What,
that
that everyone wants to fuck the
yeah,
horse?
that's the only way the movie makes sense.
Yeah. Maybe did people love horses that much in the 19 teens?
But they don't pay attention to any other horse in the movie.
They don't care that people are dying.
No.
They just care about the goddamn horse.
Have you seen this horse, though? It's fucking hot.
I'll say this: Warhorse has the shortest quotes page I've ever seen on 9to.
What is the quote?
It's
Just
6
horse
quotes.
noises.
It's 6 quotes. I've never seen this
Joey, horse noise.
Yeah. One of the quotes is, well, look at you. Another quote is, be brave, be brave.
This has been a UCB comedy production. Check out our other shows on the UCB Comedy Podcast Network.